So hello everyone, thank you for coming in person and thank you for those joining online. Today's plan is to talk to you about immersive learning and some new technology that we have available now that we can use in teaching, and I'll show you through the whole process. Yes, and what we're going to do is have a little chat about what it is first, and then we'll actually show you and we'll get you involved and you can see all the models and have a play with them all. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is realities. And there are way too many realities these days because we've got augmented, virtual, mixed, normal reality. But basically, augmented reality is basically the real world is augmented with digital assets. So, for example, you've got a phone, you've got an app, and it will project a head or a skull or something, and you can interact with that 3D technology, 3D image through your actual device. You can't use your hands and pull it open. You use the device itself. Virtual reality, you've probably seen this. It's a closed environment. So basically, you've got you can't see through the headset. It's closed and it's projecting you into a virtual world. And you usually interact with controllers in those sorts of things. But mixed reality is what we're going to use today. It brings both together. So it allows you to project digital assets in the real world and then use your gestures and your hands to move them about. And the piece of software we're going to use is called TinALP. And essentially what it does is it allows us to create an augmented classroom with 3D layered images in it. So you can scan a tooth or import a DICOM file, CBCT, and then we can show that in the augmented classroom. You can also add things like other videos, 2D videos, slides, images, that sort of stuff. The greatest thing about TinALP is that the students can connect via Teams like you guys are today at home. But also, if we have more devices like Maher's got on, HoloLens, Meta Quests, the professor and students can interact with the same model at the same time in real time. So we can add things like arrows, text. A student can pull apart a model, make it bigger, make it smaller. Hello. And this is where it really comes into its own, because instead of it being a passive experience where they're just watching a lecture or watching a 3D model, the students can now actually interact with the models themselves. This is what it looks like. And this is what we're going to do today. This is obviously a 3D model of something to do with chemistry. And the concept is that the professor, or in this case, Maher, is going to control the lesson and all the 3D objects that you see. And the students who are sat here can either interact with their mobile phones, with their iPads, or with other devices like Maher's got on. This is called a HoloLens that Maher's got on. This is an actual mixed reality device. So there's a visor, but you can see straight through it.
It doesn't block your
and it doesn't block your surroundings out.
So I can see all of you and I can see the projected object.
So the first thing we need to do is actually create the lesson itself. And this is where essentially it's like having a PowerPoint interface online. You can add slides, you can add images. I'm going to show you this in a minute. But more importantly, you can add 3D images. We've done quite a lot of testing with TinALP, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can use it today. The first one is the easiest one, option 1, and that is a teacher or a learning technologist uses the HoloLens or the web interface, which I'm about to show you, and pushes it out through Teams. Now, the problem with this is that there is no interaction from the students, but the advantage of it is that it's a great way to start, because to put a HoloLens on and present first time of asking is quite a challenge, even if we're here to support you. So basically, that is the easiest way, and that's what we're doing to start with today. The second option is where we do the same thing, but we add student devices such as iPads and apps, and then the students can actually use those devices to interact with the models. And the final one, when we've got loads of money, is that every student could have a beautiful HoloLens at £3,000 a pop, or a Quest 3, which are about £400, and then you could have the whole classroom interacting with multiple models if you wanted to. So you could load a case study or whatever you wanted to of multiple teeth, and you could have the professors looking at them all and students all interacting with it. Right, enough talking. So I just wanted to talk about the future of it. Basically, we've got a license till January, and what we're looking for at the moment is case studies that we can use. So lectures that we can change from a traditional teaching point of view into a mixed reality one. Right, I'm just going to quickly show you the web portal to see how easy it is. If Maher's got it open already. Has she? Is it in? Yeah. Okay. And this is the web interface. And basically, we can help you with all of this. You don't need to worry. I just want to show you how easy it is. You can create multiple courses. We've created a few here. And you can create multiple decks. So essentially, a course is a subject matter and a deck is a different lecture. That's how I think about it. It's very easy to add content and then to add content to that specific deck. So for example, we can add 2D media, you can drag and drop files, images, whatever you like. But the most important one, we can add 3D models. And if you don't have 3D models, we've got some from Haptics, but there's also various free websites such as Sketchfab that allows you to search for a tooth. I did this earlier, or for a shark, or for a planet, or whatever you want. You don't have to teach dentistry using this technology, and it will find you free versions. And then you can import those 3D models into your own presentations. So this one is a tooth by the University of Dundee, when borrowing their content, but basically it's a 3D tooth that they've labeled. And it's really, really quite easy just to add that to your lesson. And then you start to build up your content, basically. All very simple so far. Okay, now once you've done that, and we've done this already for today, I'm going to show you what the students see. So Maher is Professor 1. And if she walks about and looks around, she moves around in the augmented classroom. So you can imagine that if you had 3 or 4 professors and students, they would all have avatars like this. And if Maher touches that model there, you can see her hand moving the model. And this is in real time across the Teams link, but also across any device that you have. So it's all synchronized so that we're following what Maher's doing in the 3D environment. So you can see what she's doing at the moment is pointing at stuff. Maher can move models out and make them bigger, he says, hopefully. Yeah, make it big for me. She can pick things up and move them around. Can you twist it about? Automatic rotation. And we can point to things on this and we can break them apart. So this looks like one model at the moment on the screen, but actually Maher's going to pull it apart now. It's made up of multiple different layers and different models. So the screw is a separate model to the tooth. And what we're going to do now is pull this apart. So you imagine this as you're teaching the head and neck anatomy, for example. You start with a face and then you start to peel layers off like this to teach the students about different layers. Wait till you see it through the headset.
They put it all back together by pressing one button. And
it all goes back together. You can point to things, so you can have arrows. Can you work out how to do that, Maher? And the other thing is that I said about the students interacting with this earlier. you can choose who's interacting. See, it's not a free-for-all because that would just get messy. You can ask for permission as a student and say, I want to play with the model now, and the tutor can give that permission to the student. So this is nice and simple so far. Do you want to show them the iPad? So the next stage up from this, playing around with models. Yeah, have a look. Is you should see the 3D model on those devices now. And you should see it moving as Meher moves it.
You see the arrow that I've
So you might go and sit over there.
It's in the wrong direction. Pointing.
So we can see what she can see, is that right?
Absolutely.
You can say this area.
Oh.
Okay, Meher, can you give them permission to play with the model, please? So now you should be able to,
Yeah, both.
both of you should be able to actually use your fingers on the screen now and play with the model and move it about. We might actually have to do it one at a time, otherwise it's going to be a bit chaotic. It's gone, look.
Yeah, it's not.
And now you'll see that because we've given you permission to play with the model, you get a little avatar in the virtual environment. So we can see who's moving the model about. Hello. You can load pictures and things. So this is just a 2D picture that I've loaded previously. So you can augment the 3D models with a 2D explainer model. We can also load multiple models in one environment.
So as a presenter, you have to wear this, yeah?
Well, now this is an interesting question because, in my opinion, certainly to start with, it's going to be prohibitive for you as a lecturer to be controlling it like Meher is. You're better off having one of us do the technical stuff and you present on the subject. And what you just say to us, right, next 3D model, Ben, next slide, and we'll help you with it. Because I know that it's going to be too much for you to have to control the whole class and lecture to them as well as doing all of this. So that's how we're going to go to start with.
Yeah.
But obviously, the more you use it, the easier it gets. And it's once you, I mean, a couple of hours of using it, you'll be fine.
Yes.
We're just going to let the staff in the classroom have a play. You guys can come and see us at any time. And I will show you this in person. So if you're online, please don't feel excluded. Right, we're going to call this time. Thank you all very much for coming and engaging with us. I hope you understand the power of this. It's going to be great. If you're interested, please get in contact with me. If you do some teaching that you could use 3D models, let me know because we're really keen to pilot it.